It's hard to imagine that Spider-Man's story in the MCU could take a even more emotional toll on the character. But of course, this is Peter Parker and he never ends up on the winning side of things, especially when it comes to that Peter luck. So Sony's Amy Pascal teases an even more emotional Spider-Man 4 when it happens. So quite obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home dealt a lot of emotional impact on Peter Parker, and we're talking about all the Peter Parkers in the film. Now, of course, for the sake of this, we're talking about just the idea of Spider-Man 4 and Tom Holland's Peter Parker, who is now all alone. He doesn't have an Uncle Ben, he doesn't have an Aunt May anymore, he's literally alone. Nobody even knows he's Spider-Man. What he does next is truly going to be something that changes the character in a big way. Does he try to reach out and remind Ned or MJ of what happened and then explains to them some of their, best moments? And he's like, hey, if you remember this moment, doesn't something seem a little hazy to you? I was there. Check out that necklace you're wearing, MJ, this and that. And that could be emotional impact. There could also be that he has nobody to talk to and maybe he starts getting depressed. Maybe he's going to start feeling some PTSD. I mean, this is a completely different Spider-Man for the modern age, and we're seeing Spider-Man tackle issues that the other live-action versions just didn't deal with, so there's a lot here. And obviously, with this version continuing to live on, there's going to be a lot more as he becomes an adult that weighs him down. It's one of the big things that happens when it comes to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Peter B. Parker. You see a completely different Spider-Man, one that's almost been defeated to a degree, one that has relationship problems and things, and I really do hope that they deal with this, and specifically Amy Pascal saying that when you look at how they're going to handle this and going forward, that a very emotional Spider-Man 4 is the next logical step, and I truly do believe it is, because again, who's he going to turn to for help? He doesn't have the guy in the chair anymore. He doesn't have a love interest to lean back on. He doesn't even exist. So I'm definitely interested to see what happens here, how they're going to follow up with this. And I do hope that it is a smaller scale film. Pull it back a bit. Maybe do that Daredevil team up. Do something. Maybe he fights Wilson Fisk. Maybe a Punisher team up or something. Scale it back. Make it a little bit more grounded. Do a different approach and then integrate him back into the bigger MCU and start reminding people. But give us another emotional moment, and by the end of it, have him come out on top in a big way, because by the time No Way Home ends, you're just like, well, I'm depressed. Can this character just ever win? I mean, that suit's kind of cool. It's probably going to rip, though, because he had to sew it himself, so, see what happens there. So yeah, I hope that Sony's right on this, and we do truly get another emotional entry for Spider-Man.